Okay, so let's walk through Unit 6. We're going to start with just kind of talking about what Unit 6 is all about. Unit 6 is all about energy resources and how we use those energy resources, and some key points that you need to know. First of all energy use has some sort of consequence. So, in other words, there's always benefits and, like the positives and then the pros and then the cons. And so what are those benefits? What are those consequences? What's the return on investment if you're thinking about it as from a business sense? Do we get more bang for our buck in using this resource? What are the economic impacts, the environmental impacts, all of those sorts of things. So you got to see if the pros outweigh the cons when you're talking about different types of energy sources. So that's kind of what this case study opens up and talks about, like what are those benefits and what are the consequences. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into Module 35. Module 35 is all about what's the difference between renewable and non-renewable resources, and that would be 6.1, and then 6.2 is global energy consumption. So this module actually combines both of those. So make sure you understand the key definitions of both renewable and non-renewable resources. You should also understand the term fossil fuels, which I'm sure you're probably already familiar with. And then they give you, I just wanted to point out to remember these exam tips that they give you. That's also something that's really important. Understanding the different types of renewable resources. So there's non-renewable, potentially renewable, and non-depletable. So understanding that not all renewable sources are 100% renewable. And so understanding that is really important, and understanding what non-depletable versus potentially renewable, what the differences are between those types of renewable resources, okay? So that's a good chart to know, and this section kind of explains all of those different things. Understanding that the United States, here's the energy consumption by type of resource. That just gives you a little bit of information on how we are actually consuming those energies versus how the world over here is consuming those resources. So that's important as well. Looking at that, you don't need to memorize this table or this chart, but kind of understanding how we use energy resources would be an important factor to know for that world energy consumption piece of this module. You do not need to know the Hubbard curve. You should understand that we're running out of different types of non-renewable resources. This is a key point here. We can actually use less energy by first of all, conserving our energy, but then secondly, also coming up with products that are more energy efficient. And so we're actually going to do a lab on energy efficiency, and that's something that we'll be talking about. Let's see, quantifying energy efficiency. You do not need to understand this equation at all, but you do need to understand that we can't actually quantify that. And so that's pretty much it for Module 35. So if you have any questions, make sure you're talking to me in class, and I will see you guys for Module 36.